Welcome to TMZ Live. So we have body cam video of Taylor Frankie Paul's arrest, and it is stunning to see Taylor Frankie Paul and Dakota Mortensen sitting there with cops where she's trying to assess what just happened.
What just happened? Actually, there are hours and hours because it's the night that the police come, but also all of their body cam as they were continuing their investigation into that massive fight where she was throwing the bar stools. So that's the moment where they walk in. They had actually shown that body cam on her show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
And we're going to get into the implications of that.
Hours and hours more of their police investigation. But and next week the police come back to actually confiscate one of the bar stools
as evidence.
As evidence.
Because she threw 3 of them.
And Taylor has a few questions for the officers before they leave.
So with this, like, you guys looking at this, like, is it super bad?
Is it super bad? Well, no one's dead, so I mean, it's not super bad, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not a good thing. I mean, it's definitely not a good thing, but we deal with things on much higher level.
It's not life-altering.
Yes.
It's not the end of your world. You will get past this, trust me.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. Yeah, this is not going to end your world.
I would use this as a really good learning lesson. If you need to get some help for any issues, get it. That's what this is going to turn into, I think.
So I gotta say, the cop in this case is kind of doing a good job of not just looking at it as a criminal case, but realizing that it's incendiary, that the 2 of them are together, and the 2 of them fight, and they fight in front of the kid, and the cop is mediating, and I think that's a really encouraging thing.
Both of them were the officers who were there trying to...
It's a good thing.
Point her... I mean, they've seen the video of the fight at this point, so they know what they're dealing with, and they're trying to address that.
It is super bad.
But it was super bad.
It is super bad.
I mean, I know it's kind of funny, you know, her asking that question, but we have to remember that night she was extremely intoxicated. And you can see that in the new footage that we uncovered from that night, where she's slurring, she's dropping into the sink while she's trying to fill up a water glass. Like, she was extremely intoxicated,
well,
so she doesn't know the situation.
And we also know that right after all of this went down, her baby daddy, Tate, went to family court after this happened and took the kids away, and her lawyer agreed, and one of the conditions to get him back was she had to take alcohol ed classes.
For sure. I mean, you can see in the footage, she is way more drunk than Dakota was, at least that night. I don't even know if Dakota was drinking.
I mean, from the get-go, the fact that when they open the door, when the cop knocks on the door and they open the door, in front of the cop, she's still hitting Dakota. That you clearly, if you don't sober up at that moment when you open the door and there's a cop there, then you're clearly wasted.
She was 3 sheets.
For sure.
Yeah.
But one of the weird things is Dakota, you know, in the middle of all of this, Dakota said, arrest me, which is kind of bizarre.
I mean, I think that shows a lot what their relationship was like and why it's been 3 years since this incident, why they continue to kind of stay together and why this didn't come to light right away, because they were so addicted to each other and in love that he was willing to even be like, take me.
But they still are. A month ago, they got into it where each accused the other of physical violence.
Right.
So this is a toxic, terrible relationship. The interesting thing to me is they showed some of this on Secret Lives.
Yeah.
Right. First episode.
So ABC saw this. I mean, if they did any due diligence, they saw that.
Right.
For sure.
And yet she gets cast. They desperately, desperately wanted her.
And they got it. But what's also clear to us, we found out something that happened while she was shooting the show. Remember, she shot the entire season last fall of The Bachelorette. And at least one of the Bachelorette suitors had done his own research and brought it up to her.
Right, so we have heard from people that were on the set that she was on this one-on-one date with this guy, Casey. And he asked her, listen, I know about your past domestic violence incident. Can you tell me how you've worked on yourself since then, what you've done to better yourself? She absolutely lost it on set while the cameras were rolling in front of him on this date and stormed off the set.
So
she
offered
did not
no
answer his
answer.
question.
Made it clear she wasn't going to give anything because she didn't want it to be used in the show, I'm sure.
But the weird part about that is it was so public on her other show that were there talks that she had saying, we're not going to get into this? Did they promise that? That's the missing link here, that she got so angry. Was it because... I don't know
the guy
this.
brought it up, or because she thought...
Did any of the producers say, look, we're not going to get into that? And then all of a sudden he brings it up. Because it's weird to me that he would bring up something that she knows was readily available because it was on her show, and then she gets that angry unless she had an expectation that it wouldn't come up.
That it wouldn't come up.
That's right. And so...
And I do wonder if the guy who brought it up, did he genuinely bring it up of his own volition,
or detest her,
or was someone in her ear, one of the producers, because that happens when they make that show, that producers meet with each of the people and they say, here's a conversation you could have. Mm-hmm. Did they suggest that, trying to sort of...
I don't think they would have planted that, because it seems like they weren't really that aware of her.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's true. I think they were aware. You know what's worse than them being aware? Not being aware. It is actually worse not being aware with all the information that's out in public on her show.
If you take ABC at their word, after we posted the video last week, what they said was it was not the knowledge of her arrest. They knew about that.
It was the video.
They said the video changes things.
Mm-hmm. But see,
I'm sorry. That's what they said.
That's what they said.
They knew about her arrest. Everyone did.
But did they know what underlies her arrest, which is that kind of violence? So yeah, if you see it graphically, the reason they had to cancel the show is that everybody saw it.
Right.
It's not so much that they didn't know what happened. It's now everybody saw it, and you can't juxtapose. Here's a rose against here's a bar stool.
Oh.
Shelby, Philadelphia. Look, everyone's pointing the finger at Taylor, but I feel like we have to talk about the network's hand in this. You know, they've known about this incident since 2023, yet continued to air her through 3 seasons of Secret Lives and The Bachelorette, piggybacking off her mental health and only pausing filming after this video came to light and everyone saw it, just like you said. You know, they reduced domestic violence to a plot point, and I'm wondering, where is the accountability from people behind the camera?
Yeah, I mean, they leaned into it from that very first episode, and now the question is whether or not Secret Lives will continue with Taylor, or will the show just go on without her, or will it not come back at all?
Yeah. How's your Spanish?
Pretty good, actually. I've been doing Duolingo for 500-something days.
What does "quién es más macho" mean?
Who is the toughest?
The biggest man, the toughest man.
And it seems like that's what was going on, part of what was going on between Reacher star Alan Ritchson and one of his neighbors, a guy named Ronnie, who we spoke to yesterday. Ronnie Taylor told us his side of things, where he did admit that he, at one point, did shove Alan twice.
This has to do with the neighborhood in Tennessee where both of them live. Alan and his kids were going back and forth in the neighborhood on their motorcycles.
And this was the video we showed you yesterday of Alan beating the snot out of Ronnie.
And so Ronnie told us yesterday that Alan and his kids were menaces in the neighborhood, that they were going really fast, that they were making a lot of noise, and it was putting other kids in the neighborhood in danger. He was fed up. Now we know how fed up.
Well, that was one side of it. Now we get to see this is the video we showed you yesterday. Now we have new video. This is the entire encounter from Alan Ritchson's view, because while he was riding his motorcycle, he was wearing a body cam on his chest.
Now, he was wearing a body cam because that's what a lot of motorcyclists do. It's not like he expected a fight.
Right. But he ended up getting one. As he's rolling down the street, watch, the guy who's standing in the road is Ronnie.
children.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all agree on one thing. Clearly, what he's doing is very dangerous with his kids. Alan. Speeding through the neighborhoods when there's a bunch of kids who play in this neighborhood is obviously very dangerous and bad.
If he was speeding,
but hold on. We can tell you this.
We've seen videos
that after the fight.
Oh, we did.
We see video, and Alan is going close to 40 miles an hour, and this is shortly after the video, right before it cuts off. His kid was in front of him, so he was going faster. And this is in a neighborhood where kids are playing.
There's tons of kids who play, so everyone can agree that's bad, obviously. But I feel like obviously cops are investigating now, and after now you see this video, do you think Alan's side could be that he was the one who jumped in front of his motorcycle?
But Ronnie, okay, but again, he didn't do anything physically to Alan. And if you're talking about who got physical first, yesterday we thought it was Ronnie because Ronnie told us that he had shoved Alan twice. But when we see in this video, it's actually Alan who shoves Ronnie.
It's true, but it doesn't matter because what happens is
yesterday you said it does matter.
No, I can tell you why it does not. I don't want to get too legal about it.
Here we go.
But it resets because after he pushes Ronnie, they then just start talking again. So it kind of resets, and then the question is when you see the beat down.
No immediate danger.
That's right. That's right. It goes away. It resets, and the reality is this is mutual combat. Nobody's going to get prosecuted. The bigger thing is. This is the way they're handling disputes. I mean, I get Ronnie's frustration. I understand it, and you hear him say it. And Alan's a jerk for basically just flaunting it and saying, screw you, I'm going to do what I want to do. There should be regard for the neighborhood. But at the same time, that's not the way you handle it. I mean, he's standing in front of him, and I get his frustration. But
so how do you handle it?
You call the cops, and
he did.
He said he did.
I know, but then the police should come out, and you need to deal with it that way.
It seems like that's what Ronnie was like. He called the cops, and he wanted to make sure Alan was not going to be gone by the time the police got here. So he's standing there. So he stands in the road.
No, he jumps in the road in front of him.
Right.
And it looks like it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like that's why he fell off his bike.
I mean, honestly, these are two man-children. I mean, that's what's going on.
I mean, it's street justice, right?
So it is street justice.
So I ask you, as we started it, ¿Quién es más macho?
Well, I mean,
in your opinion.
Oh, Alan beat the crap out of him, so clearly him.
Hi, this is Sarah from Kentucky. I think Alan's altercation with his neighbor is less like a movie scene and more like a real-life reminder that even the tough guys have bad days, too. What's being shared has obviously escalated so quickly, but I think it's worthy to point out the importance of being able to navigate any bodies of troubled water, if you will, with a level head and a calmness to this situation.
Which neither had.
Coming up, Delta Airlines said, we are done with you, Congress.
I love you, Delta.
It does feel like a retaliatory move, but basically Delta
it's just a fair move.
That they've said no more perks for Congress.
If they can't fund the government, they shouldn't get paid.
Be right back.
Outa is catching fire. Out with their asses. Yeah. All of Congress for not funding TSA, not running the government,
creating
going
these huge
into
lines
debt
at the airport. By the way, you know who seems like they're on board with Outa?
Delta.
Delta Airlines said, we are done with you, Congress.
I love you, Delta.
It does feel like a retaliatory move, but basically Delta
it's just a fair move.
That they've said no more perks for Congress.
So Congress
members of Congress
they
can
would
usually
just breeze through these lines.
Delta basically ushers them through so that they can get to their flights quicker and without any of the hassles that the rest of us have to go through.
The party is over.
Right. Delta's saying we're not on board with that until this shutdown ends, which is what. Look, I don't think it's a big enough stake, but that's the problem I've always said.
They need to feel it. They need to feel
don't have a stake in what the rest of us have to go through. And so therefore
they shouldn't get if they can't fund the government, they shouldn't get paid.
Right.
They shouldn't get paid.
If it were like that,
I'm serious about that.
No, I agree with you.
Then suddenly they would be able to reach a compromise and make something out of it.
And if that's what it takes, that's why we need new people. And look, I'm telling you, we did a social media thing on this yesterday. Over a million people looked at this thing. And what we're saying is that, the Democrats are blaming the Republicans and the Republicans blame the Democrats. But the reality is that it used to be that both sides could reach compromises.
You know what I think
if they can't, you got to get a group of new people in there. And that means even getting rid of people you like.
Because, Harvey,
you've got to basically threaten them.
I think you're right. I think you're right. That got his attention. I think you're right. But I think the issue. I think the issue is that politicians on both sides are listening to these voices on Twitter. Those do not represent real people. Most real people want compromise. They're normal people. They just want to go to the airport and go through the damn security line without waiting 4 hours.
How about aside from that you've got people making $35,000, $40,000 a year living hand to mouth, and this is the third time that they haven't gotten paid for their work, and they can't afford. We'll just.
How do you budget anything when you don't know if you're going to get paid?
It's not enough to begin with.
But they can't even budget because they're living hand to mouth.
All right, so will this move then by Delta, and hopefully other airlines will follow, will this move be enough of a pressure point?
No. What we've got to do is stand up to all of them.
Hold on. It could be a pressure point if they happen to be flying at an airport where they have to wait for 5 hours to get on a plane. That would actually get their attention.
It'll get their attention, but they're still not going to do anything. We need a new group of people in there that you just can't. When one side just says, it's the other person's fault, it's all of your faults. And, it's like, there are strengths and weaknesses, but for one person to say, it's the other person, it's the other guy, it's baloney. It used to work. It's not working anymore. It's a dysfunctional group. We've just got to say goodbye to all of them. And I'll tell you this, if we said we're going to say goodbye to all of them and this caught fire, they would change their ways immediately.
Quickly.
Immediately. We wouldn't have to get rid of them because as soon as they felt we were serious,
the power of the people is greater than the people in power.
What we used to say in the 60s, power to the people.
Shay, Florida, I 100% agree on that, about that pressure that's going to have to eventually be put on these lawmakers. Because can you imagine standing in line for like 4 hours and the lawmaker just curtails their way around you? The people are going to get annoyed. And I'm sorry, when you get annoyed, you start making calls. And honestly, have we not talked enough about the actual Delta workers? Do you know there's already signs in TSA saying, hey, it's a felony to harass these people? Can you imagine what they're going through when these lines are so long? About the workers.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you were standing in line and you saw, say, I don't know, Mike Johnson breeze through, would you try to trip him?
Don't incriminate yourself. You don't incriminate yourself. What are you doing? I think this event that happened is not really for us, our generation. But
I'm a big Miley Cyrus
fan. I do
fan.
understand why. Yes, you can be a Miley Cyrus fan of her music now, but you don't know anything about Hannah Montana. And the Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special went down last night, and it was, well, it was
sparkly.
Monumental, very sparkly.
Somebody in our office was very sparkly on her way over to said event.
Well, yes, Janet went full sparkles for the event.
All day I'm wearing my usual big t-shirt and leggings, and then all of a sudden Harvey comes out of a meeting and I'm in this sparkly sequin dress, and he's
what
like,
the hell happened?
are you auditioning for Dance Moms? What's going on?
I did say that.
But I had to go straight from here to the premiere.
But you went to the premiere, which we're gonna find out. I want to hear why it was, because this moved you.
Oh, yeah.
It's
which we're gonna have you explain in a second.
It really
one
did.
of the things, and I didn't know this, but I guess last night Miley explained during the special how Taylor Swift ended up in the Hannah Montana movie.
This was kind of the beginning of her career, and they were looking for someone that would authentically, no shade, I guess, be performing in a barn. We both performed in the barn, and so she came into the performance, and she had written a song for Hannah Montana, maybe even two, but she actually wrote the finale song, You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home. Credit where credit's due.
That song.
Banger.
Whoa.
Stands the test of time.
You can change your hand.
She ate with that one.
So, okay, give us hits, runs, and errors.
Of the special or the premiere?
The
or
premiere.
both? Okay, so the premiere was, everybody was there, was like-minded, right? So they were playing, there was a DJ that was like a Disney Channel like DJ. So it was not just Miley songs, but like High School Musical, Demi Lovato from back in the day, like Selena Gomez back in the day, and everyone was singing and like vibing.
So these are adults who are reliving a great moment of their adolescence.
Exactly.
I totally get it.
And then the president of, it was like Disney branding something.
Yeah.
She came out and she talked about how Hannah Montana like made such a big cultural impact, and it wasn't just a TV show, you know. It was
Get to Miley.
Okay. And then,
You did say, by the way, when you were like, no, tell us everything. I was like, no, don't tell us everything.
So
Get to Miley.
She's thanking everybody that like is involved in the special, whatever, and she goes, and of course, the incomparable Miley Cyrus. And then she walks out and she's wearing this gorgeous, the dress, guys, it was just glittering everywhere. And then she had an OG Hannah Montana, like vintage shirt underneath. That's my video.
I'm shocked at how steady your hand is.
Well, no, so because I didn't want to be like, I wanted to be in the moment, so I didn't want to look at it on my phone. So I had my phone held like this, and so I was like, ah, yeah.
Oh my God.
But, oh my God, she was so funny, and she didn't really prepare the speech. But so it was very authentic. It was such.
Well, now you don't even have to. We just did you a service. You don't have to stream it now on Disney Plus,
right?
Because Janet just told you the entire.
And if you want the extended version of this. then you put it somewhere.
That was the premiere. The screening, the actual special is like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it is streaming now, so you can watch it.
Now you say you don't want to spoil anything?
Hi, I'm Dolly. I'm a showbiz reporter from the UK. Oh my God, Taylor Swift, the drop of her going for the 20th century anniversary was honestly the mention of her, because back in the day, like over in the UK especially, like it was always Miley Cyrus. Taylor Swift wasn't as big. And now it's mad to think that she did a cameo in Miley Cyrus's film. But I mean, the women supporting women, I love it. She did say no shade to her about the appearance, that it was just a cameo. But imagine if they did something together now.
I mean, in a way, Hannah Montana helped put Taylor Swift on.
Yeah.
Helped launch her.
But I mean, it sounds like she was somewhat accomplished before.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Next year is the 20th anniversary of Anna Nicole Smith's death. One of the people who is really at the center of a lot is Larry Birkhead. There was a huge custody battle between Larry and Howard K. Stern. So what we're about to show you shows time does heal all.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
Next year is the 20th anniversary of Anna Nicole Smith's death. And it's something that we covered extensively, all of the drama leading up to that terrible day. And one of the people who is really at the center of a lot is Larry Birkhead, who is the father of Danny Lynn, who is now 19 years old.
Amazing. Where's the time going?
And I don't know if you folks remember this, but there was a huge custody battle between Larry and Howard K. Stern, who was Anna's lawyer, both of whom said they were the father, and they fought it out bitterly, and Larry won, but there was a lot of bad blood. So what we're about to show you shows time does heal all.
Yeah, because Larry actually had some nice things to say about Howard. However, he's also talking about the atmosphere in Anna's house at the time, and it was a little weird.
Obviously, when I first came to the house, there was, I would come to the kitchen, hang out, like it was like the common. I kind of felt like it was, I don't want people to like run with this, but like it kind of felt a little cult-like, you know, like we were in like some kind of cult. The people in the house, they were having their bills paid, but at the same time, the people in the house were working for. And I will say this, I had my own issues with Howard as far as like him stepping into the relationship territory between myself and Anna. But at the same time, on the flip side of things, I watched him like work tirelessly, and negotiate all of our contracts and not take a fee. An agent would take, 10% or whatever, a manager would take this. Nothing was taken out of it. Everything went to her.
Can we go back to Danny Lynn? Look at this. It is stunning how
As
much
they say, the spitting
she
image
looks
of her mother.
like Anna Nicole. It is just, and she's.
Yeah, no offense to Larry, but that's 98% Anna there.
And she's going into the modeling business.
Yeah, and Larry has always, been there for Danny Lynn ever since, all the custody stuff got smoothed out, and they go to the Kentucky Derby every single year, and she always is honoring her mother. She wore one of Anna's dresses to the Kentucky Derby, one of her necklaces, and Larry's always very supportive of that.
I will say, Larry and I have been in touch over the years. He is a spectacular father. He moved Danny Lynn out of LA after just this mess, and really raised her so well alone, and did such a good job. He is an amazing dad. He really is.
Yeah, what this news shows is that Anna Nicole Smith got called a gold digger throughout her entire career, but turns out that she was the one getting gold dug on, because it's just this cult-like atmosphere around her of just parasites, and that's how you get that.
See, I wouldn't call Larry a parasite, nor would I call Howard, honestly. I mean, there were some, but not them. I would
but I think what
argue
he's saying is that Larry was saying there were other people in the house that he viewed as being that.
But not them.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Cardi B made a proclamation about her body when her tour started. Her butt implants were gonna go as soon as the tour was over.
I was just gonna take a little bit of butt out, but I don't have time for that.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Cardi B made a proclamation about her body when her tour started, right around when her tour started, still going right now. But she said she was gonna be trimming down certain parts of her body.
Trimming down.
That her butt implants were gonna go as soon as the tour was over. She's got, she's got business to do right now, so she's leaving it in. Well, this morning, she seems like maybe she's been thinking about this.
To stay with the metaphor, she backed off. Right?
Backed off of that. Yes, she did.
You were saying you might want to go to Colombia, take some time after the tour to do a procedure.
Oh, yeah, I was saying that, but I'm not going to do it. I was just going to take a little bit of butt out, but I don't have time for that. You know what? I feel really comfortable, where I'm at right now, with my body and everything.
Yes.
I do have a whole bunch of cellulites because, I don't know if it's the age or I don't know if it's the fact that I got, 4 kids. I don't know what it is, but I feel really good. But you know what? It looks so perfect.
It does.
It does, but it's not. But it's okay. I'm loving my imperfections and everything, and I just feel really comfortable. I feel really good.
Oh my God, she is so entertaining.
They must have.
I could just watch her.
You're at the Today Show and you're like, what do we have today? And you're like, oh, Cardi B's coming in. Yes.
I don't buy this for a second. I think she's going to get some taken out. I think she's going to get some taken out after, not right after the tour.
Why?
Why would you say that?
Why?
Because when is the last time you've seen Cardi B?
There's a lot she's carrying.
She's 5'3". There is a lot. She's already had kids, and when you have kids and BBLs, they start to do something. They sag.
And also, it's just a lot to carry.
It's a lot to carry. Right. I think she's going to get older, and she's going to delete some for sure.
And you can just get rid of it.
Yeah, it's just fat.
I mean, is it like liposuction?
Basically, yeah, suck some of the fat out. She's gonna, and this is the thing, she might not take a lot out to where it's just drastically noticeable. She's gonna take some out for sure. Her butt that thing is staying.
We've seen the videos in the last couple months. There's a lot.
But I have a question about that, and I'm actually really serious about it. If you're taking some of it out, then you got to make sure each cheek is proportionate. Yeah. And if you pull too much out of one,
you can come back, Charles. He's on to something. He's on to something. He's good.
I just would think that's a hazard of getting some removed as opposed to all removed. That you could have lopsided cheeks.
Well, that's why you pay for a great doctor.
What, am I wrong?
So you don't. That's why you don't go to Tijuana to go get it. You go to a doctor.
Why is Colombia the place as opposed to just doing it here?
That I can't speak of. I do not know. But
I have a lot of questions.
I highly doubt Cardi B is going to a botched doctor.
No, I understand that, but why wouldn't? You would think in America they've got, God knows, with all the people that got BBLs.
Well, you do know that a BBL. Wait, you guys do know that a BBL is one of the most dangerous procedures.
Yes,
so I'm pretty sure that probably a lot of American they might not want to get themselves involved with being the ones that perfect example. There was a celebrity who did one in Miami. She passed away.
No, I understand that. And she's not the only one.
And people came after that doctor. I'm sure that there's a lot of doctors out here that just go to Columbia.
No, but that's really odd to me. That's really odd to me. If it's a business,
would you take the risk if it's so dangerous? Why?
Yeah, there are people who take. I mean, there are all sorts of operations that.
Anyway, Columbia, Cardi B is not coming down. Sorry.
This is Ebony from Chicago. I've been a Cardi B fan since the very beginning, and I really love that she's made choices about her body, even with other people commenting. And I think that this all just comes down to choice and confidence. And I like that she's put in a place in her life at the level she's at to be like, hey, I'm good where I'm at. And she's loving what she's doing. I appreciate her honesty when it comes down to it and telling more people about it.
And do you appreciate my honesty for just being real about the risk?
I was waiting for you to go to, do they bring in like scales,
I'm surprised,
individual scales
you
for
didn't
each
say,
cheek?
Harvey, that she made this comment that she's not going to take it out after after her and Stephon Diggs broke up. So now she's single. So now maybe she wants to keep her ass to.
Oh, I never thought of that.
She made this comment after the breakup. Now she's single again.
That's a really solid point.
I don't know. Maybe she just, wants to.
Happy Women's History Month. Always count on your friends. Your friends will never lead you wrong until they do. Because Steve Carell went on Amy Poehler's podcast and was talking about The Office, the show that really made him a huge success. And he's talking about how he almost didn't do the show thanks to his buddy Paul Rudd.
I was just a cast member on SNL, and we were watching the British Office like everyone else and loving it. And I remember they were going to make the American version, and everyone was like, "This is a terrible idea. This is a terrible idea. No one can be as good as Ricky Gervais. No one can do that show." And then we heard it was you.
I'm a poor man's Ricky Gervais. It's funny that you guys all heard, they're doing an American version, and everyone had the same reaction. And I remember Rudd. Rudd pulled me aside and was like, "Don't do it, man. Don't audition.
Sure.
Don't audition. It is like there's no way."
Yeah, everyone was like, "Don't even touch this. Don't touch this."
10-foot pole.
Oh my God.
Boy, I know it's awful when your friends give you advice.
Okay,
sometimes your friends really don't know better, right?
Can I tell a story?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so my first job in television was working at KNBC News, which is the NBC affiliate in LA. I was terrible, and I didn't know what I was doing, and the weatherman was pulling me aside and helping me. Pat Sajak was the weatherman.
See, the way to tell the story, you don't tell his name first. You should have said,
it's okay.
The weatherman pulls you aside.
And so he was just so helpful and nice to me, and nobody else was helping me. And about, 8 months later, he announces he's leaving KNBC to do Wheel of Fortune. And I remember saying to him, "Can we go to the commissary?" And so we go over to the commissary and we get sodas. And I sit down and I say, "You've been so good to me that I just want to say, you're making a huge mistake, that you're so good at doing weather. Why would you go do a game show?
You're here at NBC, come on."
But you're making the exact point that I want to make. Paul was looking out for him. Look, Anchorman had just come out in 2004, was a huge hit. Nobody knew who Steve Carell was yet, but that helped propel him. The Office was a British comedy that ran for 2 seasons. It was very dry. Hilarious, but very dry. And there was no way to know that it was going to work in America. It was a gamble. Those first few episodes were, in fact, the same scripts. So he was looking out saying, like, dude, your star is rising. Why the heck would you want to join
because sometimes you gotta take a chance.
You do, and it's a good thing they did.
Right.
Paul Rudd and I, birds of a feather.
Yeah.
Coming up.
From the people who brought you Watergate comes an incredible story of journalism. I cannot wait for this. Bob Woodward has announced that he is going to write a memoir where he talks about the incredible stories he's broken, including Watergate, but he says he's going to name names.
Of sources.
Of sources.
Be right back.
From the people who brought you Watergate comes an incredible story of journalism from, I cannot wait for this. Bob Woodward has announced that he is going to write a memoir, not just any old memoir where he talks about the incredible stories he's broken, including Watergate, but he says he's going to name names. The memoir is called Secrets.
Name names of sources.
Of sources, which is unheard of, really, for a journalist of his level. Why would he be doing that? Well, he said, they're dead. Doesn't matter. And I could see in some cases where that matters, but I think it might matter in some cases.
Well, I think in this case, what's interesting is he's still in the game. And, you know, one of the things you do when you're talking to sources is you tell them you will protect them. And even though he's doing it kind of posthumously for them, when he goes to the next person after the memoir gets published, they're going to say,
well, except that
they may never
he's
want
probably going to, well, depending on who he's talking to, he's going to die before they do.
Unless he writes a maybe, maybe not.
Right.
Depends.
So he's 83.
And most of the politicians now in the government are.
He's got a treasure trove of records. I mean, as a public, you have somebody who likes politics. I'm really curious about what's going on.
I'm glad to read it.
That legally, the privilege is with him. It's not with them. So he's allowed to do it. But you're right. It's potentially betraying, depending on what he does, decades of promises that he made to people to keep them silent. The fact that it's posthumous doesn't change the promise.
Now, just to get, am I wrong? They've already disclosed who Deep Throat was.
Yeah, Mark Feltz. Mark Feltz disclosed it himself. He came out in his dying days and said, I'm Deep Throat.
But if he didn't, then the question is, would there be an expectation he just never wanted that out for his family?
Sure.
I don't know.
And I remember Woodward did an interview, and he said, I will never disclose it. I remember that. I will never disclose it. This is before he came forward. Either the source will have to come out and tell him himself, or the sequel will die with me.
I remember that.
And so apparently not.
All I can say is, it's a little dicey, but I can't wait to read this.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah. I'm dying to read it.
Yeah, are you dying to read it? Wow.
Dane Drebin from Gig Harbor, Washington. I just wanted to say I'm actually really interested in seeing what Bob Woodward has to say. He's been one of the most influential journalists of my entire life since I've been alive. So I'm just super interested to see what he has to say in a world where all you hear is fake news, fake news, fake news. It'll be cool to kind of see behind the scenes. And I'm sure he's got some juicy tidbits he hasn't released yet. It should be good stuff.
He definitely does. By the way, and I don't know if Bob was inspired. I feel weird calling him Bob, like we're not friends. But Mr. Woodward, I don't know if he was inspired by, there's a documentary on Netflix now called Cover Up, and it's a same thing about Cy Hirsch, who broke the My Lai massacre story, and among several others.
Which was a huge, huge story during Vietnam.
Yeah.
So, I can't wait.
Coming up.
RFK Jr., until he moved to Washington, worked out at my gym.
Right.
And he always worked out in jeans. And it was bizarre.
Well, here's his explanation.
I was just on a busy schedule always, so I would go hiking with my dogs in the morning, and then I would go straight to the gym in my jeans.
Be right back.
I know a lot about this. RFK Jr., until he moved to Washington, worked out at my gym.
Right.
And he always worked out in jeans. And it was bizarre, and I never asked him why.
So it's not something he just does for the cameras?
He really does work out in jeans. And I could never get an answer. You know, I talk to people in the gym. That's my gym, and that's him. And he goes to, and he always works out in jeans. And I never knew why, and I think we're going to find out, and I don't know what he says.
Well, here's his explanation. He was on the Bostick's podcast, and talked about working out in denim. I can't, there's no good answer for this, but here's what he said.
There cannot be.
The jeans cold plunging, the jeans working out, this has like become a brand. What's going on with the jeans?
Originally, I would just had a busy schedule always, so I would go hiking with my dogs in the morning, and then I would go straight to the gym in my jeans, and it was just a convenience to work out. And then when I was campaigning, a couple of people took pictures of me in the gym wearing jeans, and then I don't know, then I just got in too deep. So what we wanted to happen is that people, get inspired to work out.
All right, still not a good answer.
Not a good answer.
Not a good answer. So wait, why were you hiking the dogs wearing jeans? But maybe depending on the terrain. But then
I think
change.
It's sometimes people have a thing, and I think this was his thing.
Well, no, I think it is now, but before,
no, I think it was when he went to my gym.
Right,
he did it. He's making it sound like he only did it here. He always did it, and I just think it was his thing. And maybe he doesn't have good calves. What?
Anthony Millian, South Carolina. Honestly, this is the last thing that anybody wants to hear from RFK. There are so many other pressing things that are going on in this country as far as our health and human services go. He's the leader of the FDA. We're a couple years outside of a pandemic. Nobody wants to hear about his workout routine. We want to hear about the health and safety of our food system, of our drug system, things like that.
I agree. I mean, I agree with you on a level, but I do kind of want an answer to it.
Yeah, there had to be. I want to know about the first time, and he's like, you know what, that was all right.
That was okay.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
That's what I wanted to hear from him.
That's my thing. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Hi, I'm Jordana from Boca, and I'm talking about Taylor Paul. Here's the thing, reality TV tends to reward bad behavior. In this situation, it seems as though ABC wanted to take advantage of the fact that scandal sells. In this situation, though, she allegedly had a meltdown on set when one of her castmates, one of the contenders, asked her about it, and she threw a fit. It just shows that she has no accountability and she has not learned her lesson, where all actions have consequences.
Yeah. They do.
Okay, one more.
I'm Zena, and I'm going to be talking about Cardi B. And I think like her having thoughts about getting rid of her implants can be seen as a positive thing. To me, it shows that she is growing to love her body more unconditionally. Women of color often have to face, toxic beauty standards that they feel like they have to measure up to. And I think her talking about even wanting to get rid of those implants is like kind of giving that a middle finger, like, hey, I'm now starting to love my body. And I think that...
But she backed off it.
But she backed off it.
She said, I'm not going to do it.
I would agree with you. And actually, when she said she was going to take him out, I thought that exactly what you said. Like, good. She's going to be just comfortable being herself. But now she said she's going to keep him. So go figure.
Coming up.
I don't really have a lot to say about this. It's more about you just sort of watching. Sydney Sweeney
knows how to
not
sell.
Just an actress.
She knows how to sell her wares.
She is a heck of a salesperson.
Be right back.
I don't really have a lot to say about this. It's more about you just sort of watching. Sydney Sweeney
knows how to
not
sell.
Just an actress.
She knows how to sell her wares.
She is a heck of a salesperson. We told you a few weeks ago that she was launching her Siren lingerie line, and she's clearly decided...
If you got him, flaunt him.
That's not what I was going to say, and I don't know what you're talking about.
But that's what she's doing.
She's decided that she's the best billboard for her company, much the way Oprah was always on her cover of her magazines.
Kim Kardashian.
And Kim, you make yours exactly. Kim's not spending a lot of money on models.
No,
when she's rolling out something
new. And why would you
neither
if you're
is
Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah.
I mean, it works. Even though we can't show it to you.
Yeah, we can't show you most of it.
If you saw it online,
check out TMZ.com.
It's effective. It is effective.
Yes.
So congratulations, Sydney Sweeney. We'll see
and
you tomorrow.
Scooter.